This is one of the African Union military posts in central Somalia. Al-Shabaab launched an attack here in June. But unlike in previous attacks on African Union bases, it suffered a huge defeat and lost more than 100 fighters to Ethiopian forces under AMISOM. But these latest gains are now under threat. The bulk of these 22,000-strong AU soldiers fighting Al-Shabaab haven't been paid for 6 months. One of its key donors, the European Union, is yet to release funding for the African Union troops. And this comes barely months after it announced a 20% funding cut for AMISOM. Experts say that this will likely to have serious ramifications in the war against Al-Shabaab.
The lack of payment for Africa Union forces will deal a major blow to the morale of the troops operating in Somalia. If delayed or reduced, then this will have a huge impact to the Africa Union forces operations in Somalia. AMISOM is dealing directly with a deadly militant group in Somalia that involves dangerous tactics.
According to media reports, the payment was being withheld over, quote, accounting issues. The African Union head of mission in Somalia says the correct papers have now been submitted. The United Nations, too, has now weighed in on this matter.
And this has triggered a much bigger conversation that is very important for Somalia, but actually has continental ramifications, which is what is the basis upon which AU troops are funded. In the meantime, we have to figure out how to increase funding for AMISOM in the very short term, how to compensate for this reduction in funding.
Uganda recently announced it's pulling out its forces by December 2017. It didn't give clear reasons, but experts say that most African countries were concerned about the lack of payment for their troops in Somalia. Authorities here in Somalia have expressed concern over the planned pullout of AMISOM forces in Somalia. Experts say that the Somali security forces are not yet ready to take charge of the country's national security. And experts are saying, with the recent attacks here in Somalia, it's time that the war against the Al-Shabaab was given the full attention it deserves. Abdulaziz, Billow, CCTV, Mogadishu, Somalia.